Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ball Not Court Podcast host Cortez Paul.
Along with my co-host Paul Mack.
I want to thank you folks for tuning in today and listening to the show. Basically, we cover basketball, football, NCAA, or anything that's related to current events with a humorous twist to it, at least. You can follow the podcast at BIOC Podcast at X or Twitter. We're also on Instagram at the same name, BIOC Podcast. You go to our YouTube channel, that's also BIOC Podcast. Our Facebook page is Balls Not Court Podcast. So if you could please just give us a like, shout, comment on any of those, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Balls Not Court Podcast. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Ball Not Court Podcast. Cortez Paul is here. Mr. Paul Mack. It's been a minute, pal. How's it going, my man?
What's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? Been a few weeks, my guy. Been a few weeks, but we're here. Got through the holidays. Christmas is right around the corner. I mean, we ain't done a show since, well, we got lots of stuff we could probably talk about today, but no, man, it's good to be back. We're in the retail world. We survived, and here we are, man.
Dude, man, it's crazy that it's already December.
No buffer this year, dude. You went straight Black Friday, December 1st, dude. Straight through.
Right. It's insane, man. So, and we're here already in December and almost the end of a year. So, blessed to be here to do it, you know?
Sports are in full effect right now, bro. We're back.
Absolutely, man. So hey, let's get into it, man. Let's get into some football here. And the Eagles are on fire, man. They're on an 8-game winning streak. They're not the hottest team. I mean, that's impressive. They're not even the hottest team. They're behind Detroit with 10 wins. But thoughts about their recent run, man? Because I mean, for a minute we was thinking Washington Commanders could come away with their division, but
I don't think we ever thought that, though. I think we were talking with our hearts. Like, I'll be the one. I don't like Philly, but God damn it, Saquon Barkley, man. This guy potentially could win the MVP. Obviously, there's some movement happening. Obviously, with the game Josh Allen had yesterday, he's probably the front runner. But the things that Saquon Barkley's doing, I mean, the numbers he put up 2 weeks ago. The game he had yesterday, he's on pace to break the rushing record in a season right now. I mean, it's just crazy when you give a team like Philly a rushing game. I mean, this is kind of what happens. You don't got to rely on Jalen Hurts to do all the running out of the backfield. Nothing against DeAndre Swift and these guys they had in the past, but they have a true number one, 3-down back who can catch it out of the backfield, and their defense is playing really, really well. Like I'll give credit where credit is due, and they do the thing that I, critique a lot of other teams on is that they want the ugly game. They want to play you in the ugly, grind them out, beat them up, low scoring game. If you want to score points, they can put up points if everything's clicking for them. So it's scary, man. Like I hate to say it, but it's pretty much a two-team race, I think, in the NFC, and those two teams are on a beeline for each other. And yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting to watch because I Saquon's my guy, and in the last 2 weeks we've let Daniel Jones go. Daniel Jones was the guy that we kept and that couldn't allow us to keep Saquon in the first place. But Saquon's always to be my guy. He's like the TO to my Tony Romo. He's my running back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm never gonna feel bad for him. It's a business. I get it, and at the end of the day, I don't care if the Eagles win a Super Bowl or whatever, but I wouldn't mind seeing my man get a rushing title.
So, Paul, let me take a step back on that. You probably don't reflect, but seeing it now that, Daniel Jones is cut and now going to the Vikings and whatnot, Saquon Barkley's having success. I know you've been on this show numerous times about I want Saquon. And I know a few Giants fans that felt that way. I just wondering why couldn't the front office see it that way that the fans want? Because the fans want Saquon Barkley to stay around.
The league still undervalues the running back position. I mean, it's the same reason why Derrick Henry fell to the Baltimore Ravens. Like, nobody wants to pay running backs.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a shame because you're seeing the impact that these running backs are having. I mean, obviously it's a quarterback-driven league. You want to see big points, big scores, and you have these, these big wide receivers. Jamar Chase is putting up crazy numbers in Cincinnati and the Justin Jeffersons of the world. But at the end of the day, a really good running back is just exciting. I mean, look at the plays just last week alone that running backs have had, the impact on games running backs have had. Cook had a huge run for Buffalo yesterday. Derrick Henry, anytime he breaks off a big run, it's an instant highlight. Saquon is jumping over guys backwards, all this stuff. And it's an undervalued position. It always will be. And sometimes you get it right. Sometimes you get it wrong. And much like since we won our last Super Bowl over a decade ago, we consistently get it wrong. So,
yeah,
it is what it is.
No doubt, man. Yeah, man, just talk a little bit more about this game. This game ended up being 24-19. The Eagles did win this game. So this started out ugly, like Paul mentioned. The Eagles got behind 9-0, and they was punting on their first 4 possessions. They punted the ball. A.J. Brown, who had 5 receptions and ended up with 66 yards, ended up having 3 consecutive completions to lead to their first touchdown drive. They went to Dallas Goddard. So then Saquon Barkley, as Paul mentioned, had a hell of a game. 22 carries for 107 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. It seemed like the recipe for most of these teams that are successful is to have a great running game, which Philly does. They're first in NFL in total rush yards, and a really good, strong defense. Something else that Philadelphia does have, being first in total yards allowed, seems to be driving them. So I know we didn't really talk about Philly a few weeks ago in the NFC, and they make this run here now. And this is the fun thing about the NFL season. A few more weeks, things change. And now you have this here. So talk to me about the Detroit Lions, man. Like this is their division. Their team's right on their tails, man. The Vikings and you got the Packers. That's really competitive against them. So, what's your thought about Detroit and what they're doing?
I mean, real quick, it is funny. Like, sports is a funny thing. Like, it's funny how literally 8 weeks ago, Philly was talking about potentially firing their head coach. He lost the locker room. He's doing all this stuff. Fire Sirianni, whatever. He has no accountability. He does this. He does that. He's babying Jalen Hurts. Blah blah blah. Then you go off and you win eight in a row, and now they're winning the Super Bowl. I mean, sports are funny, man. It just cracks me up, but that's why we don't hit the panic button in week 4. But yeah, I mean, Detroit for me is the best all around team. Like, they don't even put themselves in an opportunity to get in games like Philly's been playing the last 8 weeks. They're not playing a lot of 1-score games. There's not a lot of games they're scoring under 20 points. Jared Goff's operating on all cylinders right now. The defense is playing great. They got 2 dynamic running backs out of the backfield. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is just unreal. Mix him with David Montgomery. And then you got, Amon-Ra St. Brown. They got Jamison Williams back. I mean, they are locked and loaded for a big, long, deep playoff push. And, as good as Minnesota's playing, I just don't know. Do you trust Sam Darnold? Do you ride Sam Darnold? I don't. This is all new territory for Sam Darnold. So And even Jordan Love at that point. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of, deep postseason experience. It's only his second or third season as a starter. So, it's all lining up where Detroit is really putting themselves in the power position, potentially get a first round bye, get home field through the playoffs. They play indoors. They don't got to worry about traveling and playing against the elements. That offense can literally play how they want to play. They can dictate the game on both sides of the ball. And, sure, it's a competitive division, but I mean, and obviously Detroit's going to drop probably one or two more. I mean, it's inevitable as the season goes on. I mean, I'm sure late in the season they'll probably rest some guys, take a loss if they're willing and able to. But just a well-coached football team. Like, you talk about a team that just embodies their head coach. That's Detroit. Like, they embody the city. They embody Dan Campbell. And you just love to see it, man. Like, you love to see Jared Goff, a guy that, 4 or 5 years ago was probably on his way out of the league. And he gets himself in the right position with the right head coach, the right coordinators, the right pieces around him, and now he's a potential MVP candidate. But no, you got to. It's hard not to root for the Detroit Lions.
The Detroit Lions also, if you look at their defense, they got 8 defensive ends and lines on injured reserve, and one had an illness this past week. So what they're doing, missing some names that include Adrian Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, Alice Anazzoni. This is some of the names that they're missing on their defense. So I want to give a shout out to Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell for maintaining the top 4 defense in points allowed. With all this shuffling of defensive line, your front 7, linebackers, defensive ends, and you're still maintaining a top 4 defense, and you still have the number 1 best record in the NFC, that's props to them, man. And you're hoping that for the most part, they stay together, they stay strong, they figure it out. They got something to do, something special here. And for them to miss that many interior pieces, because we already know when it comes to football, your line presence is really what's going to separate you, offense and defensive line. And for these guys to be plug and play and be able to maintain the success that they're maintaining right now, there's a credit to them, credit to what they believe, credit to the culture. It's just a salute to them guys that their belief that it's that next man up mentality for them to figure out there's a bigger goal in play. So shout out to the Detroit Lions for maintaining what they need to maintain on that end there.
It also does help. It also does help when you play a team whose head coach has no idea how timeouts work. That helps you. That helps you tremendously.
Yeah, absolutely. And come to find out he got canned. I don't know that was the reason of it, but
he probably got to take the timeouts with him too whenever he left. Probably gave him those in his severance package.
So here's the Lions' next games coming up. They got the Packers, they got the Bills, they're at the Bears, they're at the 49ers, and the Vikings to close the season. The Eagles got an easier path, I believe. I'll let Paul see if he agrees. At home versus the Panthers, at home versus the Steelers, on the road against the Commanders, versus the Cowboys, and versus the Giants. So we could really potentially talk about the Eagles overtaking the number 1 seed in the NFC. Possibly. But at this point, as Paul mentioned, what's important for Detroit? Health or number 1 seed? Do they believe they can go on the road and be an Eagles team in the cold weather? Play in the dome? It's going to be a fun little race in the NFC. It's going to be nice to pinpoint here. So,
I mean, if you're Detroit, you're banged up on defense, but nothing helps a banged up defense better than a really, really good offense. So when you're getting on teams early and you're basically making the opposing team one-dimensional, you can shuffle your interior linemen all you want because the other team's not going to be able to run the ball. They're going to have to throw it, and their secondary is just top-notch secondary. They're not giving up big plays. They're just so well coached. Aaron Glenn, like you said, is doing an amazing job. So based off of those games you just read off, obviously if I'm Detroit, you're probably worried about potentially Green Bay. Is that in Green Bay?
That is at home.
Okay.
They're playing Green Bay at home.
So you still got to worry about Green Bay. So I guess you worry about Green Bay. And
Bills are tough at home.
Bills will be a huge one. I mean, it's going to be a big primetime game probably. So they could potentially drop 2. And then, it just depends on how the Vikings show up and what they're playing for that last week of the season. But I can see Detroit maybe dropping 2.
Yeah.
But that's it. The Buffalo game, to me, Buffalo is another team who they're just in a whole other, dimension right now compared to a lot of these other teams.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's go on to the next topic, and let's talk about how the Kansas City Chiefs squeak out another victory again. The Chiefs end up coming out this end here on a Black Friday. They're making Black Fridays a thing now for football games. They beat the Raiders 19-17, and Pat Mahomes and crew got out of another game here victorious and a close nail biter here. Paul, what do you talk about Kansas City getting out this one again?
It's funny how we won't even really talk about Kansas. They're 11-1. I mean, they're the best team in the league, record wise, and we don't even talk about them. But they're the Chiefs, man. They got championship pedigree. You never count them out. If it's a 1 possession game, 2 possession game, doesn't even matter in the fourth quarter. They always have a shot. It kind of helps that their division is not the strongest right now. Obviously, the Denver's playing great, and the Chargers are playing great. But they squeaked out games against both of those teams. They just keep finding ways to win football games. And Patrick Mahomes doesn't seem like the same Patrick Mahomes. He's not throwing the ball over the yard like he used to. He's not putting up crazy touchdown numbers. It's weird seeing a 19-17 score, and they've had a lot of games like this where they're ugly. They're ugly football games, and they just keep finding ways to win. And you have to imagine that at some point the luck's going to run out, that's going to kind of get away from a little bit. And as you get into the postseason and you play against the better teams in the league, that you're not going to be able to get over any kind of mistakes you make, any kind of turnovers. You don't want to get down early in the postseason. But again, they're on pace to potentially get a home field advantage. And it's really just a matter of how Buffalo ends the year, because Buffalo already showed they ain't scared of these boys.
Mm-hmm.
And they got the blueprint to beat this team. And it's really weird because usually there's so much there where you're looking at the standings and the teams that are making playoff runs, and it's like, oh, who do you have to really look out for? And we keep seeing Baltimore drop games. We keep seeing all these teams drop games, and at the end of the day, it's just literally Buffalo and Kansas City are the only 2 week in and week out that win games they're supposed to win, regardless of how ugly it is, and they win games. Maybe they shouldn't win, but they're just that good that they can pull it off. So, it's going to be interesting to watch, but I just think that this blueprint of this current Kansas City team is not one that can become sustainable, because there's something off. There's something off about that offense, and they got a few weeks to get it right. But I wouldn't want to roll, into Buffalo or Baltimore somewhere, and I'm only scoring 19 points.
Yeah, man. It's funny you mentioned that, because against the Raiders, they have 5 red zone trips, and they only scored 1 touchdown. Raiders defense sacked Mahomes 5 times, 2 of those, which was in the red zone. He's throwing good balls to these receivers, but Wordy is dropping the passes. Hopkins is dropping the passes. They're still trying to get that connection under wraps. The last 2 games, they beat the Panthers in Carolina by 3. They played the Raiders at home and barely beat them by 2. So they're winning. That's what you want. They're finding ways to win these games. They're still the number 1 seed in the AFC, and you have to go to Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl. As it seems right now, Buffalo, as Paul mentioned, it seemed like to be their only threat. I was very high on Baltimore, but Baltimore is losing some of these games that they should win, but at the end of the day, you are what you are. So, and man, see, and we sit here and try and wait for the Steelers to fall off. They're not falling off. They're not falling off, and they're not giving up that division lead there. So, Baltimore, you want to go to Kansas City and try to get a win there. It's going to be tough. And then, of course, the division between the AFC North games is always hard. You play each other well. That's every team in that division. Whenever there's a game among those teams, the games seem to be very kooky, very weird, very competitive. And so Baltimore is laying this up here. But credit to the Bills. They lost some weapons in the offseason, and a lot of people didn't think they was going to be good as they are. And, in their division, they was worrying about maybe a resurgence of Aaron Rodgers. It was not by me or Paul or anybody on this show. It is what some of the sports media was thinking. Just telling you what they was thinking. So they was thinking maybe that could come up. Tua would get hurt, so they thought Miami would be competitive. But then once again, Miami can't play in the cold as they went to Green Bay and kind of drop a game there because they don't like playing in weather below 30 or 40 degrees. Not fun. We are Floridians, so we complain when it drops below 50. So we understand that.
We're freaking out right now, and it's like 55.
Exactly. So honestly, the only team I really see that match up with them is Buffalo, man. Buffalo is the really team that can really take them out, man. And so it's really just going to be a tug of war match who's get the home field division here. And it's going to be a fun race to see how that ends up there. So, all right. Our next segment. Who's invited to the barbecue, Paul? It's been a while since we did this, but I want to see who you choose. We might have the same one. We're going to see.
No, I don't think so. Let me see. I got somebody over here.
You want me to go first while you look somebody up?
First. Yeah, you can go first. Yeah. I have to pull the stats up real quick. You can go first.
All right. There's two choices. Honestly, I give credit to Josh Allen. 13 with 17, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns in that snowy weather. Had 3 rush, 18 yards, 1 touchdown. Dude was literally managing the game. I know James Cook, the one that took off. So he's going to be my invite to the barbecue. And there's a reason why I invited him to the barbecue. My man got engaged to Hallie Steinfeld. Very well done. Very well done. I know Miles Morales, a.k.a. He's pretty hurt right now. Shameik Moore is pretty hurt right now. But I get it because Hallie Steinfeld is something beautiful to look at. So I don't blame you, my man. So yeah, I'm gonna invite Josh Allen to the barbecue. He's gonna bring his new fiance. I'm just gonna be. Hey,
you just want to hang out with Hallie Steinfeld, huh? That's all you want to do.
That's right. That's right.
Trying to get snowed in, bud.
Yeah, listen, I'm trying to see what tell her bring a friend or two, and I this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna get some steak. All right. Now, I'm guessing these folks probably like medium well done steak. Some asparagus, some baked potatoes, and for Miss Steinfeld, Mr. and Mrs. Allen, some banana pudding. I got y'all. Some banana pudding. That's the way to a girl's heart, some banana pudding. So I'm just gonna say hey and congratulations, but that's the barbecue. Just some steak, just kind of keep it there with some asparagus, real light, maybe a light beer. Josh Johnson, like he's probably like a dark beer kind of guy. He's probably seemed like a Guinness type of guy. But I'm guessing Haley probably likes some little bit of a mocktail, keep it real light, and maybe she'll bring some friends over. That's why I invited to my barbecue. So congratulations to those two. Hell of a game by Josh Allen. Snowy environment in Buffalo, and y'all did y'all thing. James Cook really took off, but we invited to the barbecue.
Josh Allen being the first player in history to have a receiving touchdown, a passing touchdown, and a rushing touchdown in the same game.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Amari Cooper.
Yeah, impressive.
All right. Well, for me, and it hurts to say it, but Mr. Unlimited himself.
Uh-oh.
Danger Russ Wilson.
Oh.
Now, mind you, the Cincinnati Bengals may have the absolute worst defense of all time. But Russell Wilson, 29 of 38 for 414 and 3 touchdowns. Literally, of the 414, about almost 300 were after the catch. So that shows you how well the Bengals were tackling. And just shout out to Russ, man. Like, we were joking on him early in the season. I mean, he's wearing his pads, he's inactive, he's just kind of hanging out. He's just doing all the right weird Russell Wilson things. And they announced him the starting quarterback. The team was winning with Justin Fields. They still take out Justin Fields. They bring in Russell Wilson, and they're still sitting at 9-3.
It's impressive.
I mean, it's just turning back the clock for Russ. I mean, I know Pittsburgh's got a fantastic defense, but he may have had probably the greatest passing performance of his career this week, and it's great to see, because you hate to see kind of guys hang around too long, and then they don't really get to ride off into the sunset. They just kind of get forgotten about. And Russ was on the way. Russ was on the way to just kind of being forgotten about. And shout out Russ. So Russell Wilson come to the barbecue. He can bring Sierra. They can 1-2 step it over here, and he could bring some of his dangerous Subway sandwiches.
Oh man!
And it's still Thanksgiving, so we got Thanksgiving. We'll probably just deep fry another turkey for him. Get some mac and cheese, some little Hawaiian rolls.
He seems like a turkey guy for real.
Yeah, he's a white meat turkey guy, 100%. Yeah, for sure. But some turkey, some green bean casserole.
Oh, there you go.
Some some sweet potatoes with a little melted marshmallows on top of them bad boys. Hook them up real good. But yeah, man, just shout out Russ. Shout out Russ. Shout out Pittsburgh. I'm sure Brad's a very happy guy.
Yeah, we gotta get him back on the show here soon, man. I know he's over the clouds. You know what? Him and Tom is probably like on cloud now right now. Their teams are doing very well. So
it's probably best we just don't keep them. We keep them off the show, because that would run long. They're gonna have a lot. They're gonna have a lot to say.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll let them just ride this one out.
Maybe when Paul go on vacation, I need
when the season's over and we're heading into the postseason, we can get a little playoff pep talk from those two guys. I know those are probably two of the happiest guys on the planet right now.
Oh yeah, playoff. We'll get them on.
Aside from you, you're the happiest. You're the happiest guy whose team's in the wild card I've ever seen. You are elated.
Got my Pakistan jersey on.
My man said we got to record this show early. I got a Broncos primetime game to watch tonight. I said, "Oh shit,
Paula, let's go.
Yeah, Broncos in primetime, baby. Let's go."
I'm excited, man. So, all right. Well, hey, on to that. Do you have anything for this guy's thing segment or no?
Yeah, I'm going to play off the Russell Wilson thing, and the entire Cincinnati Bengals defense absolutely fucking sucks. Literally, statistically, everything about them is absolutely horrible. They gave them almost 300 yards after the catch. Russell Wilson literally threw for 400 yards, just dumping and dinking it to Najee Harris. It's wild to see. I saw somebody post a thing online earlier today. I forget all the exact numbers, but the Bengals have lost the most games in NFL history, scoring more than 23 points, 25 points, 28 points, and 30 points in a season, more than anyone in NFL history.
Wow.
Because the defense literally can't stop a nosebleed. So that sucks, because Joe Burrow is having an MVP caliber season, and you're never going to know because the team is 4-8. But he leads the league in passing touchdowns. Jamar Chase is leading the league in receiving touchdowns. And you will never know this because their defense is literally a Pop Warner team trying to tackle grown men out there on the field. So Bengals suck, man. Bengals defense sucks. And they don't even stink. They absolutely suck. And yeah, there's not really much else to say about it.
Not even this guy saying they
fucking reek, dude. They are dog shit defensively. They scored 38. They lost 44-38. That's tough. More. That's tough, bro. That's real fucking tough. So if you like the Cincinnati Bengals are back, baby. The Bungles are back in full effect. So
the Bungles.
Yeah, man. Your team's defense blows.
All right, let's run through week 14 and do the picks, and then we'll go with some NBA stuff and then call it a night. Thursday, we got the primetime game, prime video. Packers at the Lions. Ooh, this is actually a good Thursday game.
I'm taking Detroit at home.
Yeah, Detroit rolling. They'll get this dub. 1 o'clock game, December 8th. 3-9 Jets at the 5-7 Dolphins.
Ugh. Jets are pretty bad too. I'll take Miami at home.
Dolphins win. Yep. 6-6 Falcons at 10-2 Vikings. Falcons are kind of falling, huh?
Falling hard. Falling real hard. I'd love to see Tampa get in. Right now Atlanta has the tiebreaker on them, and they have the same record. So I'm kind of rooting for Tampa. So I'm gonna take Minnesota.
Yep, Minnesota's still gonna make that NFC North very interesting. So Minnesota get the dub. 4-8 Saints at the 2-10 Giants.
Shout out to the Giants for being the first team statistically eliminated from making the postseason. Awesome. Way to go, guys.
Drew lost to y'all starting quarterback?
Yep, I believe so. Doesn't matter who our starting quarterback is. I don't think it makes the goddamn difference.
The Vito kid not starting?
He missed last week. I don't know if he's back or not, but it doesn't matter. That guy sucks, dude. You can only ride the magic for so long, man. That
yeah. Listen, Andy.
At least they're getting the ball to Malik Neighbors. So there's that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Giants.
Yeah, Saints is nothing to glory at too, but Giants at home. This is one of the games that they're eliminated. They'll still come out and play. They'll get the dub. All right, the Panthers at the Eagles. I'm not gonna do it. Bryce Young. Hey, I'm really.
He's playing great. He's playing great.
He has. You see on the bench, you see some things kind of materialize. It's good for him. The Eagles' defense is really good. The running game is really good. I don't think he'll struggle, but the Eagles will pretty much lay the hammer down on them.
Yeah,
it's a home game too.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna go Philly. Hurts to say it, but I'm gonna go Philly.
Yeah.
I don't know what the spread is, but Carolina will cover, but they'll still lose.
Nice. All right. 3-8 Browns at the 9-3 Steelers. Hey, AFC North games are weird. They're weird.
Jameis Winston's weird, bro. Did you see?
Did
you see his highlights? Do you see his highlights in that snow game? How just that'd be like you if you played in snow, bro. You'd be that guy. That was you. This is Cortez if you ever saw snow.
Absolutely, man. Oh man. I'm gonna do it. I'm picking the Browns.
Jameis Winston in a snow game is Cortez when Haley Steinfeld brings her white friends to the barbecue.
Give me my jacket. It's a blizzard around my surrounding area. I'm
gonna go Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Big week for home teams this week.
Oh man, home team cooking. Raiders at the Bucks.
I'm taking Tampa.
Bucks get this dub. Raiders.
They're on a mission to get Mike Evans his 1,000 yards. He needs like 100 yards a game with the remaining games left, or like 97 yards a game.
Yep. 2-10 Jaguars at 3-9 Titans. Kevin is wanting me to come on the show here soon, so I got to figure that out. He want to vent about his Jaguars. So
I mean, Trevor Lawrence is not playing, I would imagine.
Yeah, that was a low blow, kind of a hit there. It's terrible.
Who's their backup? Mac Jones?
Mac Jones. This is a stinker of a game. And you know what? I'm picking the Jacks to win it. I'm picking the Jaguars to win the game.
Yeah, what, Mac Jones versus
Will Levis,
the mayonnaise guy?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm going to take Jacksonville.
This is a game they could have put in freaking England.
Yeah.
India. Somewhere.
India. God damn. Under the earth.
Under the earth. Oh, man. All right, 4:00 games. You have your Seahawks at the Cardinals.
I'm taking Seattle. I think the Cardinals showed some things early, but I think they're going to fizzle out. And I think the Seahawks are, especially how they played against the Jets last week, looks like they're kind of clicking a little bit. I'll take Seattle.
All right. I agree with you. We're taking the road team twice here. So, yep, Seattle get the wins here. Can we go for 3 for the road team? Bills at the Rams. Absolutely. Rams lose.
Yeah. It's hard to go against Buffalo. Buffalo's so good.
4-8 Bears at the 5-7 49ers. Chris McCaffrey is out for the season to MCL injury. That sucks. 49ers has really been going through a lot of injuries. Me and Paul kind of covered that in a few episodes here on the show. And we mentioned when you play that many playoff games, it's like playing an additional season. And this is unfortunately what's happened to the 49ers. And their workhorse, Chris McCaffrey, sucks to see. You just call him when he ran the ball, kind of slid down and he knew something was up. And
Jordan Mason's out too now, so I don't even know who's playing running back for the 49ers.
But the Bears showed me something last week. They could have caved in the first half, and they showed some fight in the second half. Caleb Williams, probably the best half I see him play. And I'm gonna go with the Bears here. The Bears will get a win in the road.
Interim coaches, for some strange reason, tend to do really well in like their first game. And the Niners are just reeling right now. I think the Bears can catch them, honestly. I'm gonna go with Bears.
All right. AFC West showdown for the 8:20 game on NBC. Your 8-4 Chargers against your 11-1 Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm taking the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh's doing some things over there.
I agree with you. I think the Chargers get some. If it's a low-scoring game, which I don't think it will be, if it's a high-scoring game, Chargers win that game all day.
Chargers defense is really good.
That too. I agree. But I feel like, Kansas City's been Bon Jovi in it, living on a prayer. So. And your Monday night game, the Bengals at the Cowboys. Holy team of fell expectation for both of these teams. I'm sure you're going to enjoy picking the Bengals here. All right, Paul?
Yeah. Yep. Bengals, baby. Like I said, the Bengals can score. So scoring's not the problem. The Bengals can score. I don't think Dallas can score to keep up with the Bengals.
And the Cowboys can't defend for anything right now either.
Exactly. So it's one of those things. Bengals might score every time they have the ball against Dallas. But also Dallas might score when they have the ball because the Bengals defense doesn't even exist.
So parlays, make sure you play those in that game with Bengals taking everything.
Joe Burrow over everything.
Yes, 100%. Might be our record day. All right, let's transition to basketball. NBA round up top. We got rivals here tomorrow. Coming up, we got the Magic and the Knicks playing for the NBA Cup Group A Finals. Both teams are 3-0. And they face off on TNT. Initially, this game was taken off TNT, and it was flexed back on. So I guess y'all realize Franz Wagner's pretty good there, NBA world, that you went ahead and put the game back on TNT and realize that, both teams are 3-0, and it might be a competitive game.
I mean, what other game do you put on in the 7:30 time slot?
They had, I forgot what the game they had, but it was a game.
Indiana and Toronto? Like
I think it was
Washington,
that game.
Cleveland? Like Washington sucks. Philly sucks. They're playing Charlotte. Milwaukee's playing Denver. I mean, that's really the only – the fact that they even attempted to get rid of it is wild because there's no other games.
Yeah. But, Paulo wasn't playing, so they just –
And this is why the NBA Cup exists. So you have these two teams, both 3-0 in their group, playing for the Emirates NBA Cup.
Paul, talk to me about the Knicks and the Magic, man. What you think about both of the squads so far?
The Magic might be one of the most impressive teams I've seen in recent years. The way they're playing, the way that team just gels. You can tell like they have a lot of time in with each other. They all believe in each other. They signed the head coach to an extension in the offseason, so he's not going anywhere. They have stability everywhere. And you're kind of seeing why they drafted Franz Wagner. Yeah, I know a lot of people didn't really understand that draft pick. He had some brilliant moments last season. He kind of came up short in the postseason, but that was his first postseason. But he is literally carrying this team on his back while Paulo is out. And they still play defense. They're shooting the 3-ball a hell of a lot better than they did last year, which is huge because that was probably one of their big knocks was they couldn't shoot the 3 last year. They're hitting. Jalen Suggs is shooting the 3-ball pretty well. Franz can hit the 3. You got Jet Howard coming off the bench. So they're just clicking in all the right ways, and they're winning games. They're winning games handily too. Like they're running teams out of the gym, which is crazy to see. So I'm excited. It's always interesting though, like when Paulo comes back, what that kind of does to this rotation. Because, there's a lot of guys kind of stepping in, stepping up. Wendell Carter Jr. was out for a little bit. They had Bataze. Bataze's back in the starting lineup, I think, in and out with Wendell Carter coming back in and out. So, he's been huge for them. And even on paper, like these two teams are pretty close, like statistically. Like the Knicks score more points, but obviously they give up more points. The Magic don't give up a ton of points. They only average 108 points a game, but they're giving up less than that, obviously. But everything else is like points in the paint, 48-49. Fast break points, 14-15. Second chance points, 14-15. So these are two scrappy teams that like to get on loose balls, get in the open court. It'll be a fun game to watch. I think people are really sleeping on this game. The Knicks took them a little while to kind of figure it out, but they're clicking. Jalen Brunson was Eastern Conference Player of the Week this past week. So, they're clicking. They're what are they? 15-7 or something. 12-8, and then the Magic are 15-7. So, you got two teams that are pretty good in the rankings, considering that the Eastern Conference is kind of a shit show. But yeah, man, this is why we have the NBA Cup, so that a Knicks Magic game in December means something. You're muted. There you go.
It just takes some time with the Knicks. Sorry. Still getting over a little bit of a cold, so I don't want to hear me sneezing on the mic. So, but no, as I was saying, I got muted. The Knicks just had to take some time to figure it out with Carvin Towns. You integrating a big piece like that into your offense and your defense. It's going to take some time to get it figured out. And it's particularly pretty healthy. You got OG Anunoby, who's been on the hot streak until he bumped to hand out the way. So he's been looking pretty good. So, but no, for them to start up where they are and still figure things out and win as you go is really big. Now, Magic side of things, Paulo went down. There's a oblique tear. He won't be reevaluated. Supposed to be sometime within the next week or so. He's over here moving around and moving his arms up. So I'm thinking he's feeling a little bit better. So hopefully He said on the interview with Mark Spears that he's aiming to come back a little bit before Christmas, if that's the goal, if that's how he feels, if he feels great, fantastic, because I want to get our potentially all NBA player back in our lineup. So shout out to Franz Wagner. Dude's been carrying the squad. He's been our workhorse, and it really showed you that. I know a lot of people, including me, was like, oh, man, Paulo is Batman and Robin. Nah, it's Batman and Superman, because there's 1A and 1B with these two guys that are playing. They're fantastic. Like, Paulo's been good, and we always trying to push Franz to do more. So during this whole 15-game stretch, Franz has learned to do more, and it's put him in a couple of situations that he's got to step up and be the guy. And this is good for Franz's development. So there we go with that. Someone put it on Twitter very eloquently about the Orlando Magic. And I'm going to give you the scenario, Paul. We all play street hoops here. We go to the courts and we play basketball. There's always this one guy when you go play pickup basketball, play 3-on-3, 4-on-4, that just presses you 94 feet. You get the ball, you dribbling, he's on you, just constantly on you, harassing you, and you just get flustered because it's like, dude, it's not that serious. It's like, back up. That's the Orlando Magic. You sit here and watch some of these teams try to dribble the ball, move the ball. Orlando leads the league in deflections. Against the Nets in the home game, they had 25 blocks and 25 steals in that game combined. Mm. That just tell you just how frustrating it is to play Orlando. I sit here and watch these games sometime, and you can sit here and just see the frustration on their face when it comes to like quarter 3 and quarter 4, because Orlando is literally pressing you. Not only you got Jaden Suggs harassing you, you get a pick, Contavious Caldwell-Pope is on you. You get another pick, Jonathan Isis on you. You get another pick. Oh, Wendell Carter Jr. could guard the wing. Another pick, Goga Batasi, who done had 5 blocks in the last game. To play this team is very infuriating. And Orlando's doing this in a unorthodox style where you go back to like 90 style defense, where we're seeing something different here. So I'm just saying I know a lot of people has been saying the NBA is going towards like threes and all that stuff. Orlando, besides the one breaking game before that, they had hit like 18, 19 threes. They're winning games like making like 10 threes, 11 threes. So when they start making like 15 some threes, they're hard to beat, man.
I mean, even the Magic making 10 threes. Like there was games last year they couldn't even get to 10.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so Contagious Caldwell-Pope came out and said that he had a lot of stress, moving to another city, the birth of his child. He's not going to play free. The last 2 games, the shot is falling. So hopefully just continue the trend here. Anthony Black come off the bench, defends very well. You have just every guy on this team like to defend. And so watching the Magic is kind of refreshing. So I'm super glad that they get this spotlight here. And, you know, who to say they go as a wild card and go there and go as the group winner. A lot of teams get introduced to James Suggs and Franz Wagner and Mo Wagner and all. Like, it's just this team, they irritate you. So when you're at the court and you literally trying to drill at the ball, you got someone pressing you 94 feet and in your grill and not letting you space out, and you get frustrated and commit extra fouls and push somebody in the back because Franz Wagner called an elbow from Nick Claxton and got a flagrant 2 foul and got ejected from the game because that's how frustrating their defense is. It's the Orlando Magic, man, in a nutshell.
Play the song, bro.
Yeah, they're a sign to watch. They're to add this to this, they're the only team that's still undefeated in the home. They haven't lost since April, since last year. And but the schedule gets tough. The Knicks is next. The schedule in December gets tough, but they do got a lot of home games, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited for this matchup between the Magic and the Knicks. They've been kind of having this little kind of like squabble going on and stuff like that. I know last year Anthony Black and Jalen Brunson got into it, so it's pretty funny, man. So, but they was talking about the scenarios to win this, Paul, for Group A. Obviously, Magic Knicks win. They're the group winner. It is what it is. When I get the win card, they win a tiebreaker of Boston and the loser of the Milwaukee-Detroit game. gets the wild card. But Orlando must lose by 37 or more points to the Knicks for one of these teams to get the wild card. So Orlando pretty much just don't have to lose by 36 points to the Knicks, and we're still a wild card. So
yeah, the Magic are just like, I said this the other day, like whoever runs their social media and just kind of shows how that team is like off the court, like that is a tight-knit group of guys that are just like love to play with each other. Like even after the games when they do the little play the song, they're all out there, they're all dancing, they're all having a good time. Like it's refreshing, man, to see a team that like, they draft all these guys and they didn't give up on any of them.
Yeah.
They kept all these guys despite injuries or whatever it is, Jonathan Isaac's still hanging there, playing very well. Cole Anthony's still there.
Dude, it says a lot about Goga Bitadze, who could have got more money elsewhere, and could have been a second-string guy. He takes less money to come back and get a third-string role, not guaranteed playing time, just because he enjoyed the culture here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a kudos to Jamal Mosley, Jeff Weltman, Anthony Parker, John Hammond, who is now not in the front office. He's retired or he's in some kind of capacity with the role Orlando Magic, but not a GM kind of role. What they have built, man. So kudos to them. They're a fun squad. So as I like to say, man, it's really a good time to be a Magic fan. And I'm enjoying it, man. And I can't wait. I done grilled out today for the Broncos game. So I got leftover barbecue for that. I was going to cook some chili tomorrow, but I already got some leftover barbecue. So leftover barbecue for the Magic next game on TNT tomorrow.
And look, if anybody wants to get Cortez a red eye to this Magic game tomorrow night, Magic are undefeated in games where Mr. CP has been in the crowd. So you want to guarantee a victory. You want to guarantee a victory. Someone get him a red eye.
Shoot me up there, man. And guess what? I ain't got to work on Wednesday, so I'm there. I just have to dress for the occasion because New York's cold. All right, so Paul, let's talk about the Bucks because the Bucks also won 6 straight. So the 3 hottest teams right now is the Bucks, the Magic, and the Grizzlies. I'm at 6. So I guess I know we make jokes about Doc Rivers, but is it just they get more chemistry down, or is it their schedule though? They have played the Rockets, the Bulls, the Pacers, the Hornets, and they was at the Heat and then the Wizards. So the schedule has been kind of friendly.
I think it's a little bit of that. I think it's a little bit of they're kind of getting healthier. And then obviously the competition, like that is the kind of schedule you want when your team is struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
And obviously you got Washington tomorrow, so that'll probably keep you going. That team didn't win a single game in November. So I'm not worried about Milwaukee because again, we know if they do, make it into the postseason, we know where they're going. So, it is what it is. But Memphis is a surprising one for me. Like a healthy John Morant.
They're playing
they're a young, scrappy team. Like I watched them play yesterday. They went back and forth with the Pacers. But no, they're just a scrappy bunch of guys, man. Young team.
Jaren Jackson Jr. is a beast.
Yeah. And they're kind of taking advantage of some of the injuries out west. Like obviously, Dallas without Luka. They're figuring it out though, but like Dallas seems to be playing pretty well without Luka. They've been worse this year with Luka, which is crazy. But it's just all those Western Conference games are going to be tough. Any one of those teams, like look at these teams' records are crazy. I mean, even the Rockets are 15-6.
The Rockets are playing really good ball.
So kudos to Milwaukee. Kudos to Milwaukee for beating the Rockets. The Rockets are playing really well. Spurs are over 500. Suns are over 500. Pretty much everyone's over 500. So
KD's back too. So yeah,
he's playing out of his mind too. That's scary.
I see them next week. I'm scared to play Phoenix.
You got prime KD right now, but just shout out Memphis. Like they've always kind of had it tough because John Morant couldn't stay on the court the last couple seasons for reasons of his own, but he's a hell of a player and he demands attention, and you got a lot of physical guys on that team. They play physical basketball. Jaren Jackson Jr., Marcus Smart. These guys are real physical guys. Desmond Bane. So they got a lot of guys that just kind of can ruffle your feathers a little bit, and they can get up and down the court. So, it's always cool when you see a team like that every year where you don't really expect it. And then you have a team like Memphis who's kind of in the upper half of the Western Conference, which is good to see. So, if I had to choose between these other teams, I would say the Grizzlies are the most surprising, but Orlando to me is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in probably the last decade of basketball that I've watched with the roster they have to be on the run that they're on, winning the way that they're winning. It's just
it's insane, man.
Crazy to see, man.
All right, so on the flip side, which NBA team is the most disappointing team to you right now?
I mean, I guess probably Indiana, because I feel like a lot of teams were high on Indiana, and they're just not that good. I think the team that they were last year, they surprised a lot of people, but they also kind of exposed themselves a little bit, and they're not a physical team. They don't play physical, so they have a hard time with physicality. They don't shoot the greatest. They'll have random games where against the Knicks last year in the playoffs where they literally didn't miss for an entire quarter. They'll have those kind of games, but they're not a particularly great shooting team. Tyrese Halliburton can't really stay on the court.
I'm trying to figure out what's up with him, man. He's inconsistent recently. I mean,
he'll have some games where he'll score 27 and dish out 12, and then he'll have a game like yesterday where I don't even think he scored 10 points and had 8 assists. I mean, it's just it's tough when that's your main guy, that's your all-star guy, and you get the inconsistency to that level. But I mean, I guess you could also probably say Philly, but Philly's a shit show.
Yeah. Pacers 9-12, Phillies 4-14. So yeah. Very good choices here. Mine's, and I talked about them highly before the season started on that NBA preview podcast. It's the Sacramento Kings. Sacramento Kings lost the last 6 out of their 7 games. This was a top. Man. It is tough. It is tough. This was a top offensive rating team 2 years ago. They're 10th right now. Defense has always been in the middle of the pack. But Kevin Huerter and Keegan Murray are shooting a 27% from the three-point field. It's not going to help your guys. This is the team that is also, as a team, shooting 32% from three-point line. It's amazing what the Aaron Fox is doing right now, which I think is an MVP caliber season because right now he's averaging 27.5 points per game, shooting 34% from three-point line. He
scored 60 there, didn't he? Did he put up 60 points?
Yeah, he's playing well, but the rest of his team is not. Domantas Sabonis look a step slow. They're rebounding. They give a lot of offensive rebounds. This is a team I didn't expect to be 9-12. Now, they still got time to figure it out. They're down here with Minnesota's another team that's disappointing too. But they're down here at 12th, and all they do is they make a little bit of run. They're literally right now 3 games out from the Lakers that is got 12 wins, which the Lakers kind of came back down to earth too, but they won against last night against the Jazz in a nail biter. I think the Jazz take that game. If you want to tell me how you gonna call a timeout when Colin Sexton go make the layup, and it's another tangent. But no, man, the Sacramento Kings been disappointing to me, man. I expected more. You get DeMar DeRozan, who is the mid-range god, and I'm just been very underwhelmed with them right now to start the season.
Because they kept their core together. They didn't change a whole lot. It wasn't like a team like Minnesota where you got rid of Towns and brought in Julius Randle and kind of have to reconfigure the whole offense. Adding DeMar DeRozan, I feel like he's a plug and play kind of guy. He knows his role.
1%. They resigned Malik Monk, their assistant man of the year candidate. So, and Keegan Murray was killing it last year, and Kevin Hurd struggled last year, but then he came back on. But they still got a lot of these pieces. Like the Ellis kid, he's from Orlando. So like this is a lot of pieces that they have together. So I was expecting this team to kind of take a step forward when they add Debo, and it just hasn't happened yet. But you mentioned Paul, it's the West. Maybe they just.
That's why I'm not too worried about Minnesota. I think they'll figure it out. I think Anthony Edwards is shooting too many threes. I think he's fallen victim to this new NBA.
Yeah.
And his free throw attempts are down, but his 3-point numbers are up, and his points per game I think is less than last year. So someone needs to sit him down and teach him math, and basically be like, look, man, you're doing the wrong things. You're shooting more of these, less of these. These are worth more than those, but your points per game are down. Like, what are you doing?
He's too much of an athlete to be doing.
Too much of an athlete. Too much of it. I hate seeing a guy like that shoot threes. I just hate seeing someone like that shifting to falling into what the NBA is trying to do. He doesn't have to do that.
1%. So one last thing before we close it, man. What's up with all these fights from the flag playing in NCAA football? That college football, you had about, let me count the games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Michigan, Ohio State, North Carolina State, UNC, Arkansas, Missouri, Auburn, Alabama, Notre Dame, USC, Arizona State University, and Arizona, Florida, and FSU, Texas and Texas A&M. It seemed like every time someone goes plant a flag on their logo, other player wasn't having that, and next thing you know, there's an all-out brawl. I enjoyed Ashley Paul.
I mean,
these are your rivalries. These are your rivalries, dude. There's no love lost. I'm a Gator fan, so to hell with Florida State. They can be pissed off if they want to.
Yeah.
Do something about it. And then Mike Norvell is talking about that's the most fight I've ever seen him have. Your team was ranked top 10 in the preseason ranked polls, and you fall from grace and won 2 games the whole year. Now you show some fight because we go plant the flag. Shut up, Florida State. Y'all deserve to
Shut up, Seminoles. Yeah, I think we just kind of lose track of these. Like, these are the things that made college football. Like the rivalries. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If you don't have the rivalries and you're not playing for some stupid golden jug or some fucking Davy Crockett cap or whatever the fuck they play for nowadays, like this is what we do. I love I remember, a few weeks back, like the Red River Shootout. Like, fucking, I can give 2 shits about Texas and Oklahoma, but like the Red River Shootout just sounds fucking cool, and I'm gonna watch that shit because it's a rivalry, and it's just one of those things. Like, maybe they're in 2 different conferences now because college football is weird, but like there's still a rivalry. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't want me putting my flag on your field, do something about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
1%.
That's all it is.
1%. But then here
You can't stop me after the game when the scoreboard hits 0. We got more points than you. You can't tell me I can't do that.
But Florida State can storm the field last year after being a 6-6 Florida team. Okay. But then here I am. You know what? I'm gonna call myself out, Paul. I'm gonna close the podcast here. I remember my college years. I went to like a little house party because I went to Warren University, and Weber is down the road in Lake Wells, so we had this little kind of like rivalry going on. And I kind of did this because, listen, I'm a big dude. I consider myself a big dude. There's a big dreadhead linebacker come up. Hey, man, I don't like you, dog. You don't know me. You my rival. I don't know you, bro. Listen, this corn-fed 6'3" linebacker, I'm not going to fight you, bro. I said, here, man, have a drink, man. I said, I ain't trying to fight you, bro. We had a house party, man. Show me around, man. I'm supposed to hate you. You are rivals. All right, you don't have too much cognac, man. I'm not finna fight a 6'3" linebacker. We both in great shape, but I'm not finna fight you, bro. So that's the only time I kind of say, but when it's on the field, screw that. No holds barred.
That's the thing, but that's how it should be, though. Like, I should just hate you because. You know what I mean? And I don't think you get that anymore. Like, I feel like Like I should just hate you because you like the Gators, or I should just hate you because you like the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what sports are. That's what it is. That's the whole
Absolutely.
That's the whole thing. Is like, oh, you like them, therefore I don't like you.
Yeah.
And that's where you see like all this stuff, and obviously college football has gotten so glamorized with NIL deals and all the money and the contracts and the TV and everything else. I think you really lose track of that because I highly doubt that ESPN wants to see a fight break out after a football game.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's football, baby.
Hey, listen, Michigan and Ohio State, they had to use mace to get the players off each other. That's how much them dudes don't like each other. They don't like each other, dog. They had to get mace. Coaches was bleeding from stopping the fights. They do not like each other.
I mean, you got to give a team like Florida State, like they got 2 wins all year. Like it sucks that the most fight they put up all year was after a loss.
Right. But I'm sitting here laughing because I'm like looking at some of these, like especially the Arizona State. He took the pitchfork and put it in the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. That dude was not having it, bro. I was like, oh, but I want this. I enjoy this. Like, come on, man. Like, this is. Listen, man. I when I went to watch the Magic play the Heat, there's a reason I wave goodbye to the fans. I don't like the Heat. I don't like them.
It's just funny.
I enjoy it when they lose.
It's just funny too.
I enjoy when the Lakers lose.
Like we live in the South, so like high school football is big here.
Yeah.
But like if we lived in Texas, bro, those high school kids are like damaging public property like the week of like rivalry games. Like those kids are brought up from the moment they are born to know like, hey, that school over there, you don't like those guys. And they'll burn a church down. Like 16, 17-year-old kids go light a church on fire. Fuck it. I seen Friday Night Lights. I seen how this shit goes, bro. Hey. It's just the way it goes, bro.
It's Auburndale, Winter Haven. I used to play for Auburndale High School, Winter Haven. Somebody burned out a dog pound. We thought it was Winter Haven, bro. Listen, we just don't like each other. And now that I work in Winter Haven and I went to Auburndale, there's still that you don't like Winter Haven.
Yeah, just don't wear your Letterman jacket around town. You'll be all right.
Oh yeah, don't get yeah. I don't. It can't fit no more, so it's all good. All right, let's close this bad boy up, man. So,
you got a big game to watch, brother.
That's right, man. So hey, make sure y'all stay tuned. Me and Paul during the week get the show on. We'll get back at it. I promise you. I don't think I had to travel until like February. That's the last time. Next time I gotta go travel and watch a basketball game. So I'll be around. So
hey, love to hear it.
Make sure you follow the podcast at BOC Podcast. You can follow me at NMCP, Mr. Mac.
Yeah, bro. I'm on X at _Paul_Mac. I'm on Instagram at ThePaulMac520. And yeah, man, we out here, baby.
Absolutely. You can get us at Balls My Court Podcast, Facebook. Give us a like, comment, shot there. YouTube, BLC Podcast, TikTok, BLC Podcast, and Instagram, BLC Podcast. So you can get the show in multiple ways. You can check us out on radio.fm. We've been having our episodes play there. So glad to hear our shows on the Underground Radio FM. Super excited to partner with them and help grow our content. So, but anywhere else you get the podcast, the show, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Windows, Google Podcast, Anchor, wherever you like to say, wherever you got before. So we do appreciate you guys listening, and we're back at it. So we're in the midst of December. There's going to be a lot of basketball, football. It's going to be content coming out the yin yang. So college football playoffs coming around. So this will be a lot going on here. So glad to be a part of it. So
yes, sir.
But once again, Paul, anything else you want to add? We good, man?
No, we good, bro. Hopefully we'll our schedules line up, and like I said, it's going to be a busy few months here in the world of sports. So we'll do our best to be on there,
Absolutely. So once again, for Paul, Matt, Cortez, Paul, Ball on My Court Podcast. Take care, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace.